Unbelievable, Matthew, just kind of linking in your body with his body.
Well, this is the thing.
We saw a picture of me at the beach club in
also,
Vegas.
Don't link mine in with yours either. I'm not Lawrence, but I'm better than yours.
Adjusted for age. Adjusted for age. We got to grade a bell curve here. Let's be honest. Yeah. But adjusted for age, I would put my body up against the two of you. Honestly, no, seriously, because I am significantly older than both of you guys.
You're not significantly older than me.
Yeah.
So I just play the role of a 28-year-old fantasy football analyst. I am not that.
Yeah.
We could be brothers.
That's fair enough. We do have a lot in common. We look similar. I get that.
Yeah,
fair enough, obviously.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Connor Rogers, Matthew Berry, Jay Crouch here. That's right, we got all the preseason Week 1 takeaways for you today. We're going to make some sense of these messy backfields. Before we do any of that, Matthew, we got to talk about who drinks free today.
I'll tell you exactly.
This is a big one.
This is a big one. I'm very excited about it. You know who drinks free today? Jimmy Fallon drinks free at the Fantasy Football Happy Hour bar. I am making my return to the Tonight Show tonight.
That's right.
Two times.
You can actually say you're a frequent guest.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him that. Like, am I now officially a Tonight Show regular?
Yeah, one of the most improbable sequels of our times. Like Point Break 2.
Yeah, exactly. So really excited. We're going to talk about the fantasy football season and have some fun. You know, Jimmy's a legend. It's always a great time to do that show. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you, Jimmy Fallon, for having me on tonight. And of course, please tune in tonight to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, starring Jimmy Fallon.
And Pierce Brosnan.
And
Helen Mirren.
A loaded card.
Yeah.
I think she's
You're third.
I'm easily third.
The undercard.
I think she's Dame Helen.
She is Dame.
Dame Helen Mirren. Yeah.
Yep.
So royalty, legit royalty.
Royalty.
And then me.
Did they group you guys together in the back, or are you like very?
I suspect we have our. I will just say no. I mean, I don't know how to
like
play.
a lounge.
No, and also I don't know. Like you have your own dressing room. You go back there and you have your own dressing room. But the last time I was on, the special guest was Hillary Clinton, and so I never met. You know, like they kept me far away.
Right.
I'm sure like Secret Service, everything like that. I don't know if like Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren will be more accessible to me. I don't know if like we're all hanging out backstage or not.
Was Hillary peppering you with questions about like
I never met her. No,
PPR?
it was no, right, exactly. No, it was Hillary and Chelsea. I never met them. So yeah, exactly. So we'll see. And then there's a comedian, Bonnie McFarlane, she's very funny. So she's on the show tonight
Very
too.
eclectic group.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get with Jimmy. That's great.
English royalty. Pierce Brosnan's Irish, by the way.
Yes,
which a lot of people don't know. Pierce Brosnan is Irish. And Matthew Berry.
And one of the great James Bonds of our time.
Yes.
Yes. Which is what I will tell him when I see him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You say you're the greatest.
Yeah.
So we know that's going to go. I don't care what they say about all the other James Bonds. You're the greatest.
Yeah, we're watching for Bond and Dame Helen.
That's the excellence of Flexecution chiming in.
By the way, that's a hell of a name.
It's well done.
YouTube name, Excellence of Flexecution. Well done. Well played.
That's how you make the show.
Yep.
All right, we got plenty of preseason Week 1 takeaways. We want to go through some of the notable rookies, and we got to see a lot of these young quarterbacks, guys. We'll start with Cam Ward here. Briefly played, 5 of 8, 67 yards against the Bucs. Didn't rush at all. Most importantly, we got to hear from what Cam Ward thought on his first preseason game.
It's not really too different from college. Just more being, I would say, alerted on third downs. Just the cans that you can get to in Coach Callahan's offense, and then just getting the ball out when it needs to be out.
Next game, what's the next step you need to take off of this?
Just playing above the sticks, not get behind the sticks, and also just getting the ball out fast, letting my playmakers make plays for us. I think that's what we were able to do the second drive. Then just playing at a faster pace, get in and out of the huddle. Coach Callahan gets me to play call pretty fast, so just trying to play faster.
Relatively uneventful Cam Ward performance. I think that's a good thing, by the way. You don't want to really see these rookies try to be superheroes in the preseason. Just take care of the football and move the chains.
Yeah, and I mean, it's our first chance to look at it. Like, it's because we've been starved so long for football. Yes. We tend to overreact to everything. But Connor, I mean, they're playing against vanilla defenses. Right. No one's really trying to do too much here. Can we just practice a little bit and everyone not get hurt, right?
Right, and you could see kind of an effort to go to the check down a little bit earlier than you might in an actual real game. You don't, if you're going to take off, and Cam Ward didn't run in this game. We're going to talk about Jaxson Dart in a second, who did. You don't want to take any hits, too. Your coaches are telling you, like, okay, the slide or get out of bounds. You don't need to be a hero here. But I think most importantly, just the confidence that Cam Ward operates is something that we feel better about with the Titans offense this year.
Yeah, I think we've probably become a little bit too conditioned to expecting rookies to become superstars based on what Jaden Daniels did last year, CJ Stroud did the year before. It's not normal for a rookie to come in and immediately be like, flirting for fifth and an MVP ballot.
Yeah.
So I do think that Cam Ward, though, the one thing that he does really have going for him in his situation is the Titans sneakily might have the best offensive line in that division. Like, they remade their offensive line. They're going to have youth development for guys like J.C. Latham. I think Brian Callahan obviously comes from a guru family of offensive line management. Right. It's just the weapons for Ward which you worry about, whereas Calvin Ridley and then not a great deal else in the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the other things that you can always take away from preseason, and we'll talk about it here a little bit today, but also just as you're watching preseason games, is usage is really important. What's the first team usage? So the fact that Calvin Ridley had a 43% target share from Cam Ward, I think is indicative.
Yes.
Like, by the way, they didn't play a lot. There's not a huge sample size here, but just when that offense was out on the field, Cam Ward is looking for Calvin Ridley, which makes sense, especially when you think about who else they have. Tyler Lockett played primarily in the slot. This is all thanks to our friends at Fantasy Life and Dwayne McFarland, who does a amazing preseason utilization story. So you don't have article, I should say. So you don't have to watch all the shows. They do, so you don't have to. So all of our utilization stuff comes courtesy of FantasyLife.com. Thank you, specifically Dwayne McFarland. So Lockett had an 88% route participation. So I do feel like that's going to be it's going to be Ridley on the outside, Lockett in the slot. We're going to see some Chigakonkwo. He had 100% route participation with the starters. So there may be some, because they're going so late and no one expects the Titans to do anything, there may be some fantasy value because they're going so low.
Yeah, easy schedule as well. It's just thinking through it logically. Of course, everything's going to go to Calvin Ridley. There's no one else who's going to draw targets at a near comparable rate.
This one from Val Milton Fung. Cam could be sneaky good this year. He could be Bo Nix-esque this season.
Do you think Cam could run like Bo Nix?
I don't think he will, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he's a scrambler.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to run all the time.
Like
scrambling
design
to
runs.
throw the ball down the field. Right, the design runs. Can he do it? Yes, he's a good enough athlete to do it, but I don't know if they're going to want – I think they'll be – also, Bo had Sean Payton. I want to be careful here. Nothing against the Callahan family, but Sean Payton, it's almost like we just kind of disregard that his effect, how powerful it is.
Sure, but I mean, listen, Callahan was the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati. He's a pass-first coach. Obviously, we saw how he was with Burrow. So I think that the system will be fine.
Right.
It's just a question of the reason Bo Nix was Bo Nix last year was largely due to his legs. And so the fact that we just don't think Cam Ward's going to run the way that Nix is. I don't mind the overall sentiments that Cam Ward could be kind of sneaky usable this year.
Right.
But I think fantasy-wise, just because we don't expect him to have the sort of rushing that some of the bigger names do, that it's hard for me to see him be anything more than a QB2 this year. But especially given the current weapons.
I think what matters is, guys, he's just going to make Calvin Ridley much more exciting this
sure.
year. That's the difference to me. And you said this, Matthew, maybe even Chigakonkwo, who can kind of be that discount tight end for you somewhere down the stretch, or one of our 8 million waiver wire shows with backup producer Pete on Tuesdays.
Exactly. Chigakonkwo has gotten a lot of love on this show over the years. Probably more than he has in Tennessee. News from the running backs out of this game, Tajay Spear has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, he's going to miss the rest of the preseason, is what they're thinking. So this is one you want to closely monitor going into week one, because I think a lot of people have high expectations for Tajay Spears, especially in an offense that could also throw him the ball on a lot of checkdowns.
Two things here. One, Tony Pollard was getting the first team usage anyway. And then two, I don't think anyone watched the Titans game last year, but if they did, Tony Pollard was kind of back in terms of his explosiveness. And that makes sense. Another year removed from the broken leg in the playoffs with Dallas, after he didn't look right the following year. He looked much more like Tony Pollard. And just the team shouldn't be in as poor game scripts so frequently as they were last year. So Tony Pollard becomes pretty interesting now, Matthew.
Just moved him up to running back 22. Again, last year when he got work, he was effective over 15 fantasy points per game when he saw at least 18 touches. So not surprising when you get a lot of work, you're fantasy productive. and that is what Tony Pollard was last season.
One last note from this game, Rachaad White is undergoing testing. He has a groin injury, and Matthew, this kind of, bridges us to the combo that, Bucky Irving, we don't need to tell you about him, but Sean Tucker has a legitimate chance to be the RB2 in that offense, which matters a lot.
I talked to a high-ranking, I talked to somebody very much in the know in the Tampa Bay organization
Todd
at
Bowles.
the Combine. Yeah, Dr. Baker.
And Jason Light.
Right, yeah.
Them three, just at a table like this.
We're just hanging out, having beers. No, whatever. I talked to someone who would know. I'll just leave it at that. I feel very good about this source. Who said to me, again, Bucky Irving, they think amazing, but said to me when it came to Sean Tucker, that Sean Tucker has the talent to be an RB1 in this league. And that if they didn't have Bucky Irving, that Sean Tucker would have a legit shot to be their starting running back. Again, no disrespect to Rachaad White. They like Rachaad White as well. He's in that, especially in that third down role. But Sean Tucker is somebody that they think literally can be an RB1 in the NFL. And I think people forget, Connor, and you can speak to this, why people are like, well, Sean Tucker didn't even get drafted. Well, it's because in the pre-draft process, he had it came out that he had a congenital heart issue, that there was concern around that.
Yeah, and there's injury concerns, but yes, he had medical concerns. I mean, there's no denying his talent as a pure runner in the Syracuse
But I was going to say, if without that,
he gets drafted.
He gets drafted. I mean, he might have been a day 2 guy.
A time
right?
in that season, a lot of people had him as a third-round talent.
Yeah.
And that's a big compliment to a running back when you talk about a third-round talent. So I think it's just kind of catching up now where, Tucker's talent is taking place on the field, and now there might be opportunity with the White injury.
Best kept secret is in the NFL is that this Tampa Bay offense is completely loaded, and they were a top 5 offense last year. They have incredible depth at receiver and at running back. Baker Mayfield's been playing like a fringe top 10 quarterback the past couple of years. This team is going to put up a ton of points. And when in doubt, like if you're in a draft, I think when in doubt, you want to skew to the team that you feel good about their offense. And I think that's going to be skewing to Tampa Bay a lot.
They want me to move on real quickly, but just because this has come up, and I think this is really interesting, I agree with you. I think the entire Tampa Bay offense is potentially underrated. Mike Evans is perennially underrated. All he is like 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns every single year, and I don't think he's being drafted where he should be. I know people are really high on Emeka Egbuka, and rightfully so. I think he's going to be a very impressive rookie this year.
Good.
He looks good, but are we sleeping on Jalen McMillan, who last year, really strong down the stretch, especially if we think that Chris Godwin's not going to be ready for the season?
That's the question, right? Because you drafted a wide receiver in the first round when nobody thought the Bucs needed a wide receiver. So is that an indictment on they thought they needed a big upgraded talent compared to McMillan, or is that an indictment on Godwin's health? Which is it? That's the question for me. How long will Godwin be out, and how does that help McMillan's reps? But I think they're really excited about Egbuka right now.
And there are some NFL teams that will tell you, and I don't know if Tampa Bay is one of them, but there's some NFL teams that will tell you, it's not an indictment on any of those things. It's just we're drafting the best player available, and we had Egbuka very high on our board, and he was sitting there, so we took him.
Right. We're a team that believes in having 3 to 4 great wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because we're going to pass a lot with Baker Mayfield. So, all right, guys, another rookie quarterback that we got to see, Jaxson Dart, a nice debut, 12-19, 154 yards. We got to see him take off a couple times, 24 yards on 3 carries. Dart, I said some of these rookie performances are uneventful in a good way. I didn't feel that way about Jaxson Dart's, Matthew. I thought he made some big throws. You obviously see the athleticism. You can't say, can he be Bo Nix-esque, because we don't think he's going to start the season. But this is someone, Matthew, that will run when given any opportunity.
The Giants, I think, found themselves a quarterback. Again, it's early. We'll see. It's one preseason game. But, for somebody who had high expectations, I think if you watch that game, you're like, okay. You weren't disappointed by the anticipation you have. And that I think when Dart gets in there, he could, in fact, be Bo Nix-esque. That Brian Daboll has a fantasy-friendly scheme. Obviously, we've seen it, back when he was coaching Josh Allen with the Bills as their coordinator. And they have some talent here. It's a decent backfield. Camp Scatterbo's banged up, so Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary split the snaps with the starters. But you and I both love Tyrone Tracy. Singletary's solid. Malik Neighbors is a stud. Wan'Dale Robinson actually had a higher than usual average depth of target on this one. Wan'Dale Robinson, who's the SGA, of the NBA,
Again,
of the
ridiculous
NFL, in
makes
terms of
no
like he's a
sense
PPR,
whatsoever.
he's a PPR scam artist.
Jamal Chase is the SGA of the NFL. Like, what is this?
I just love trolling you. I just love trolling you about it. No, but like Wan'Dale Robinson was a PPR scam artist last year, but nice thing to see him being outside and they're using him. They're trying to expand his route tree as well. Like there's some talent here, and we didn't even get to like. I like Theo Johnson. And I know the Giants do as well. Like just as a late round tight end. So I think you're encouraged for everyone that has Jaxson Dart in Dynasty, or if you're in a deep Superflex league. He's going to start sooner than later. At some point, he's going to be the starter of the Giants this year.
Yeah, I think the good thing there too is that the Giants have an absolutely brutal schedule. They have one of the 5 hardest schedules, so I don't think they're going to win a ton of games. And so end of the season, suspect we will get some Jaxson Dart.
Scott Kobe, my hot take is Jaxson Dart will be starting in New York by week 7. I mean, Russ is going to get, obviously, a little bit of a leash here, guys. And
But the thing is Jameis going to be number 2?
I don't think so. Yeah. They didn't treat it that way in this game.
Yeah.
No. And to your point, and I don't even know, Scott, how hot a take that is. If they're heading into week 7, if they're, 2-4, right, and they haven't looked good, at some point you just kind of go.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find the landing spot. Their 7th game is at Denver. Might be the best defense in football.
Yep.
Their 8th game is at Philadelphia. And then they play the Niners at home in November. So
That's probably
the landing spot is actually the 2 weeks before Denver. The first game in October, they play the Saints. But then you throw them through the gauntlet of those next 3 games. But you can't act that way. You just got to let a guy play.
When's their bye?
They have, I believe, a later bye. I'll find that in a second.
The Niners D
Or early.
wasn't great last year and it's pretty thin. Nick Bosa's
Salah's
terrifying,
back. Yeah.
Week 14 bye, so it's too late for.
Yeah, I thought they had a very late bye. I mean, some point you got to just go to a guy.
Look at the teams. Like this is just the Giants could be competent and they could still be 3-10 going into their bye.
Yeah,
Like, this is an insane.
That's
schedule.
the thing. Week 5 at the Saints just feels too early, and then you've got Eagles at Broncos at Eagles, home to the 49ers again.
Let's call a shot. I'll say November 16th against the Packers at home.
That's what I was going to say, because their bye is the week after that. So that might be good. Like, give him a start, then he's got the bye to sort of like, okay, let's look at that, and then finish out the season. I like that. I agree with that. I think that's the week he starts.
I think he gets in earlier. Well, one, because the offensive line isn't very good and Russell Wilson's an injury risk because of that.
I mean, that's obviously, you can predict that.
Yeah.
Another rookie quarterback that was the talk of town and really is anytime he steps on the football field or off of it, really, for Shedeur Sanders. All the attention is just constantly on him. Good start for Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. 14 of 23, 138 yards. There was really, really nice 2 touchdown passes. He also ran 4 times for 19 yards. Got to hear from Shedeur after the game on just feeling like himself.
Overall, I feel like me out there, and I couldn't do it, of course, without the time. I couldn't do it without the play calling. I couldn't do it without anything. So I'm just thankful to even be able to have, the joy of just being on the field overall, then carrying the responsibility of doing the right thing. So that's 2 badges under my belt already, that I got out there. I feel like we operated the huddle really, really good. So it's just the small details that of course, we practice on and we talk about. And I'll say, of course, towards the end, I'll say we got a little sloppy and we overall going to finish it up. And that's going to be a point of emphasis going into this next week. But, I was just thankful just to share that moment with everybody.
Crowded Browns quarterback depth chart. We know that. Joe Flacco still there. They're dealing with injuries to both Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders takes advantage of a good opportunity.
And they added Tyler Huntley. There's now 6 guys in that room.
Who's the next quarterback?
It's
Also,
unbelievable.
like half of them are injured. And also, why are they getting like hamstring injuries and stuff? Are they like practicing?
Beats
like,
me, but
Browns are
look,
tough to figure out.
Shedeur Sanders drank free on Friday, and the kid took so much crap in the pre-draft process. And some of it was self-inflicted, I believe, or self-inflicted, from his camp, the people around him as well. But like I thought, it felt like people almost delighted in his
spiraled out of control.
He spiraled out of control, and so good for the kid. Like good for him to
go out and play well.
Go out, I think we all said that, and people said this on TV. Okay, fine, you got your 5th round draft pick, but you're in an NFL camp and you got an opportunity, and now what do you make of that opportunity? And so Shedeur so far has kept his head down. and got an opportunity and made the most of it. His touchdown throw in traffic, he threw a touchdown.
Second one?
The second one.
That was really impressive.
In traffic. He's on the move, and he had to put it perfectly. There was 3 guys more or less around the receiver, and he threw it up in the left-hand corner. Really impressive. It looked like an NFL throw. So still a lot to be seen. But if Shedeur Sanders starts this season or gets it to be a starter similar to Jaxson Dart, I think there's some fantasy value there. Again, ran more than I thought he was going to.
Right. He looked quicker than he usually does, in my opinion. I thought he looked pretty quick compared to how he looked in college. Listen, Shedeur is accurate. That's not the question with Shedeur. It's the pocket presence. It's not taking bad sacks. Can you coach that out of him? And it felt like at times he got a little crazy in the beginning, but then he settled into the game.
Yeah, so here's the thing with the Browns. Their first 4 weeks, they play the Bengals, Ravens, Packers, and Lions. Those might be 4 of the 6, 7 best teams in football.
Yep.
So they're probably going to lose. They're going to lose early. And then I think it gets interesting because I don't know who the best quarterback is on that team, but it's what are you trying to achieve, Cleveland, this year? What is actually the goal? Do you want Joe Flacco to steward you to a Super Bowl? It's not going to happen. Kenny Pickett's not going to do that. And so, if you want to find out what your upside is or find out what your future is, it's got to be Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel at some point, who was still drafted before Shedeur, which is very strange. But I think that he's going to have to get a crack at some point, Connor.
I think so. I don't know when it's going to be because you have so much politics involved in this. You have a coaching staff that probably likes to vent in Joe Flacco. This front office took a quarterback ahead of Shedeur Sanders. That's right. So when he's healthy, do they just look at him?
They took a quarterback ahead of Shedeur Sanders, and they traded for a former first-round pick in Kenny Pickett. Sanders has gotten the start because no one else is healthy, right? But you know what I mean? So we don't know how they feel about these guys in camp. I think whatever Sanders' stock inside the Cleveland organization was, I think it's risen based on this performance, so good for him. But, we just don't know what Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff think. They still may think, we're going to have a better chance with Pickett or Gabriel. We just, we haven't seen what they've seen in practice. We don't know how they feel about his mastery of the offense, everything like that. But one thing is clear, Dylan Sampson is going to play a lot, I think. So Jerome Ford did not play in this game, but Sampson played 73% of the snaps during the first 2 drives when that first-team offense was out there. Quinshon Judkins obviously still not in camp. So Dylan Sampson continued to rise up draft boards here.
Yep. And this offensive line hasn't been good for a couple of years, but it's mainly been because of injuries. This Cleveland Brown, think about 2-3 years ago when Nick Chubb was really rolling and the offensive line was the strength of the team. It's largely the same guys there. It's just that they're older and there's been more injuries. But there are worlds where this could be a competent offensive line, I think. And so the running back situation probably not as dire as it was last year.
Getting away from the quarterbacks, a lot of eyes in Carolina on T-Mac, Tetairoa McMillan. Massive target share, Matthew, 50% target share. And it was great to just see Bryce Young throwing the ball up to him, and even in covered situations, allowing him to make some plays. I know there's some passes McMillan probably wish he came down with in this game, but also did make some plays, caught 2 passes for 43 yards. Got to hear from the young quarterback, Bryce Young, on building chemistry with the top 10 pick.
He's done a great job throughout, from when he got here after draft day to all the way through the offseason, through training camp, of just making a concerted effort of making sure that we're communicating, we're on the same page. And really it's been all the receivers. They do a great job of not just running their route and then going back and putting their head down. And they want to know the why, know the how, know if there's something they can improve. And I'm the same way. As a QB room, I take pride in it. We all take pride in it, making sure we're communicating. Hey, is this what you want? Is this what I want? Whatever it may be, making sure we're on the same page. So seeing that from him and the whole receiving core, it's great to see.
Let's take a look at the Panthers' target share leaders. Obviously, McMillan here, Jay, way on top of this board. But Matthew, Cokeheads unite as Jalen Coker catches a touchdown in this game. Back and better than ever.
Cokehead Hive is alive and well as well. Yeah, the Cokehead Hive. You want to join the Cokehead Hive?
Sure.
You want to be a Cokehead?
Is there room?
With me? Sure. Plenty of room.
Okay.
Jump on board. Cokeheads unite. You got Thielen there. Friend of the podcast, Xavier Legette, is going to be in the mix, obviously, as well during the season. So, sort of interesting. I mean, like Carolina's not good, but I don't think they're awful.
functioning.
I don't think
right?
that, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean just like whatever. You
Functioning
got
offense.
T-Mac and you got Leggett and Thielen is still a presence there. We love Jalen Coker, Hubbard out of the backfield. Like I don't know. They're not terrible.
How much would we love Jalen Coker if his name was like Darrell Williams or something? Probably
But
not.
it's not.
It's
not.
It's true.
So he rules.
So here's the thing. I don't think the Panthers are terrible either, but I do think their defense is terrible. And I think that's good news
Right.
for Bryce
Fantasy
Young
wise.
and T-Mac in terms of their fantasy value, where T-Mac might be, in terms of the talent level on that team, he might be 2 tiers above everyone else, and Bryce Young was a competent quarterback in the second half of last year. So you want to have competent quarterback throwing to one guy, and they're having to throw all the time because they're losing because of their defense.
I don't like. It's not as crazy a bet as your Giants to win the NFC East bet,
Oh, that-
but like
live
the
on
odds,
its own.
like the Panthers winning the division would not be insane.
It's just like 5-1. My Giants was like 80-1. Different worlds.
Bigger than the U.S. versus Russia in hockey in the 80s.
The Panthers are 5-1 to win the division.
Yeah,
There's
which
no
is
way.
a little.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on,
no,
that's-
they're like 5-6-1, I think. Yeah.
IMK9, hot take, but T-Mac is going to finish top 15 this year.
It's from IMK9 on YouTube.
Forget that 25% of the division is like Tyler Shuck and the
Right,
Saints,
exactly.
which kind of washes away.
But you like. Michael Penix is unproven. The Falcons' defense is unproven, and the Buccaneers. We all love the Buccaneers, but already an injury to the offensive line. They're a little bit older.
Panthers are plus 380 on DraftKings to win the division. I can't get around that. Bucks win the division, I think. I think the Falcons have more upside too.
I agree with both those. I think if I was to predict, I think you'd see Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, is how that division goes. But I'm just saying, like, football's a weird game.
Sure. Yeah.
If I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, I feel optimistic because it feels like they're finally heading in the right direction. That's all I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Keep pounding.
Yes. Bryce Young was taken number 1 overall ahead of CJ Stroud and played really well towards the end of last year. And some of it was playing bad defense, but like he played really well against the Eagles and should have beaten the Eagles if I think Xavier Leggett dropped a touchdown down the middle. So yeah, there's upside there for sure. On the offense, I think the defense is pretty bad.
Yeah. One of the biggest fantasy storylines this summer, guys, is Travis Hunter. Not because of lack of talent, but how much will we see him on offense? In his debut, he caught 2 of 2 targets, 9 yards, short passes against the Steelers. Got to hear from the Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen after the game on Hunter's performance, not just on offense, but also on defense.
I think he made a couple good catches on some option routes and missed the one tackle defensively that I noticed. Like that was the only things that I kind of noticed about his overall play. In terms of that, I'll have to watch the tape on how he operated defensively a little bit more, but I thought offensively he made the right decisions on those option routes, made a good catch, almost broke out of that one where kind of Trevor put it behind him on that third down we talked about. But, I'll have to go watch the tape a little bit more to know more.
I like it. Liam Cohen breaks down the entire offensive performance, said like 2 words about the defense, and then goes, I'll watch the tape on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of tells you everything you need to know.
He played 88% of the offensive plays with Trevor Lawrence, tied for a team-high 29% target share. And now on the second and third series, when sort of the backups were in, played 100% of the snaps, the defensive snaps on the second and third series. I am telling you, there he is. He's right there. He's on our wall. We've already got the jersey, old school Jaguars jersey too, by the way. We like that.
Oh, the Blake Bortles outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
David
but
Garrard.
It is Travis Hunter rocking the 12. I think Travis Hunter. What are the odds of Travis Hunter for offensive MVP and offensive Rookie of the Year?
Offensive Rookie of the Year is like 10-1, 12-1, that type of range. Here's the thing, like Liam Cohen on the Rich Eisen show just casually let out, like, yeah, we wanted to get him up to playing 80% of the snaps on offense. It's like, Brian Thomas Jr. played like 80% of the snaps on offense last year and was like top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards.
I feel like I've said this a lot, and I'm going to say this a lot more throughout the preseason. They've got a new general manager in James Gladstone. They have a new head coach in Liam Cohen. And the first move they did was give up a first-round pick and a first-round next year. And like a second this year.
Couple of mid-round picks,
They gave up a boatload of draft capital to move up 3 spots to draft Travis Hunter. They basically said, hey, we're all in on Travis Hunter. Their first big moves. And so, again, I think so much gets lost in fantasy analysis as we sit here and we talk about yards per route run and just there's all sorts of underlying statistics which are great and helpful, especially along with doing film work. But the thing that I think gets missed the most in fantasy analysis is that they're human beings. coaches and players are human beings with egos and emotions and all the things that make us, good and bad people. And if you are James Gladstone and you are Liam Cohen, that you have just in your very first opportunity, it's his first opportunity to be a general manager, it's Cohen's first opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL, and your big move is like, we're doing all this, we're trading all this to go all in on Travis Hunter, he has to work. Like if nothing else works in Jacksonville this year, Travis Hunter has to be a success. We're going to do whatever we can to make Travis Hunter a success, just from an ego and natural, natural human being nature of it, right? From human nature. And so, I think Travis Hunter is going to play a ton on offense, and I think he's going to be phenomenal. And wherever he's going in drafts, it's not high enough. He will be on the love list. I'm just telling you now.
Yep. They have an easy fourth place schedule. They play in a weak division. I think that also, Trevor Lawrence has been written off far too prematurely. We're two years removed from Trevor Lawrence coming back from 30-3 against the Chargers in the playoff game, winning the division. He's a generational prospect coming out of college. Yeah, he's got flaws, but I think that Trevor Lawrence has absolutely the talent to be a top 10 quarterback this year. I think the Jags are going to be solid. I like them over 7.5 wins.
I think they're sleepers up and down. Again, Brian Thomas Jr., he's a superstar. That's great. But because there's uncertainty in that backfield, I think there's going to be value there once we know that. You and I both like Bashal Tutin.
Right.
I think Travis Etienne is going way late as well. Tank Bigsby has shown some flashes. So again, we're going to need to figure all that out. But Bretton Strange, I think Parker Washington is a slot guy in deeper PPR formats. Richie F says, biggest question is, what if Trevor Lawrence stinks? I don't think he does.
I don't think he can stink.
I think they're well to
no. He could be like a slightly below average quarterback this year. That's reasonable. I don't think he stinks. He's got too much talent, and also he's done too much. Well, 18.
Think about that comeback. Think about the playoff game comeback against the Chargers.
Yeah, he played at a top 10 quarterback level that year, and then was halfway through the following year was in contention to be the 1 seed, and then he started getting injured, and then last year was just the disaster. He's got all the talents. He can make all the throws. He can move. He can do everything. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like he just doesn't see the safety dropping back, and he throws some bad picks and he sails some balls. But I think that Cohen is the best offensive mind I think he's worked with.
And this is the best talent he's had.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately, this is the best talent he's had. By the way, on Fantasy Life, the consensus ADP for Travis Hunter, he's being drafted as wide receiver 30. I would say when most of you draft 2 to 3 to 4 weeks from now, man, I think it's going to be earlier than that. We're talking about the 69th, 70th pick in the draft.
And some of that ADP is skewed by best ball, like underdog. We have underdog ADP in there.
Consistently the earliest on underdog.
Right.
Best ball, 55th.
Which makes
sense. But
in
redraft, you're looking at 65 to 73 is where he's going, typically.
Steal.
It's an absolute steal. It's crazy.
If he's going to play 80% of the snaps, then he's just like Malik Neighbors.
I keep going back to what Connor said during the pre-draft process, where it's just if you knew for a fact that Travis Hunter was only going to play offense, he'd be a Randy Moss level prospect coming in the league.
Ochocinco was the one I really liked. Yeah. That's the player he reminds me of, just how quickly he wins, how cleanly he catches the ball and turns into a runner after the catch so quickly. So, and I just think Jacksonville looks at him like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they like that he plays defense and will play defense, but I think they're looking at him going, we come from an identity in Tampa Bay where we had all these pass-catching weapons. We have Brian Thomas Jr. here. We need another guy to funnel the offense through.
That's right.
So, all right, our next guy here.
That's Bretton Strange.
TreVeyon Henderson, 1 carry for 18 yards against the Commanders, but more impressively, not only caught 3 passes for 18 yards, the 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to open the game. Matthew, you could just see the explosive element that TreVeyon Henderson brings to an offense that has lacked a guy like that for so long now.
Yeah, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson isn't going to go away, at least anytime soon. 83% of the rushing attempts with Drake May in under center went to Ramondre Stevenson, but still, Henderson, to your point, got a decent amount of looks from Drake May in this offense. Clearly, throwing to TreVeyon Henderson, as you see it there on your screen, 3 receptions for 12 yards. He's obviously going to be a big part of their passing attack, and he'll get some carries, and he's got the kind of explosiveness that anytime he touches the ball, he can take it to the house. I don't think they want him to be an every down back. I don't think he's built that way for the NFL, but Josh McDaniels has always used a running back in the passing game, and so to have a weapon like this, they're going to manufacture touches for him and figure out a way to try to get him in space.
Yep.
Our next running back here, Jay, R.J. Harvey. The good news for Harvey after the Broncos took him in the second round is 7 carries in this game against the Niners, 25 yards. He also had a catch. This was with the starting team. It was with the first-team unit. Obviously, this backfield in Denver can be hard to figure out, but they drafted Harvey that early for a reason. They're going to utilize him.
Yeah, another good reminder to not pay too much attention to these unofficial depth charts, which had R.J. Harvey listed 5th. They're just compiled by someone in the communications team. But looks like he's going to be the clear guy. He was taking all the carries with the first team. J.K. Dobbins was the passing down back. I think that is going to carry over to the regular season. This is an elite offensive line. First team offense didn't look good out there, but, it's 3 series or whatever. They'll figure it out. Last year, the Broncos' offensive line was one of the best in the NFL, creating yards before contact. It's just they didn't have anyone to burst through that and create yards after contact. R.J. Harvey certainly better than anything they had last year at running back.
He's my running back 20. I have him at 60th overall. TreVeyon Henderson, I have at running back 21, 61 overall. So those guys back-to-back in my rankings, just right there, both inside my top 60 overall.
A couple quick hitters here if you've missed out on some news. Jalen Wright operated as the clear RB2 in the Dolphins offense behind Devon Achane. Alexander Madison, veteran running back on that team, he's going to miss the season. He just had neck surgery. So the Dolphins backfield after Achane, or as some people have said on the show, Achane.
Yes.
Becoming a little more clear with the youngster and Jalen Wright.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Ollie Gordon there, the rookie. Jamal Williams is working out with them, so we'll see if they sign him for some depth as well. But it's going to be Achane, and Jalen Wright's the guy you want as an insurance back.
Blake Corum with the Rams looked slightly ahead of Jarquez Hunter in the battle for the Rams RB2. Obviously, Kyron Williams is the guy there, but you'll keep an eye on, in case of any injury situations, insurance backfield battle between those two. Kendre Miller played 82% of the snaps on the first 3 drives. Alvin Kamara obviously rested during the preseason, but feels like, Matthew, the Saints try this with Kendre Miller every year. He just needs to stay healthy for one summer.
Needs to stay healthy, but he's clearly the backup. Assuming health, he's clearly the backup to Alvin Kamara.
Brashard Smith, the rookie running back, former wide receiver out of SMU, played well behind Kareem Hunt and Elijah Mitchell. We'll kind of figure out the Chiefs' backfield, which seems to always be kind of in flux.
For sure.
With a lot of different talent.
Cut to everyone at home like, wait, Elijah Mitchell's on the Chiefs?
Right, yes. Yeah, I mean, that was one of those moments.
But believe it, yes, that is where he wound up. He's in Kansas City. Always confusing, but in terms of Pacheco or, whatever, Kareem Hunt.
Elijah Mitchell was going to score the game when he touched down in the Super Bowl, following Mecole Hardman's footsteps against the Niners.
On the Arizona wide receiver depth chart, Zay Jones played ahead of Michael Wilson as the wide receiver 2, whoever's going to line up across from Marvin Harrison. Colston Loveland had a 50% target share on the first 2 drives. Cole Kmet didn't play. Dalton Kincaid, Matthew, only had a 60% route participation. Obviously, this is a Bills offense that's going to use both tight ends in Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, and Shakur is banged up. I still think a big year's coming for Dalton Kincaid. I'm not worried about that.
What'd you call him? Shakir?
Yeah. Shakur? Khalil Shakir. Shakir.
Yeah.
What did I say? Did I mispronounce it?
I think you kind of went with
I think he is bullying you.
I think you went Shedeur Sanders type of,
No.
He's trying to get in your head before the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
He is trying to screw
Just don't bring up Khalil Shakir to Jimmy Fallon.
I won't. I'm definitely not doing
talk Bills offense. Please, Jimmy.
I'm definitely not doing that.
A reminder to everyone.
That's what's going to come up on the Tonight Show.
That if you want to join the conversation live, as many are right now, great job by the audience today. Tune in daily to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel at noon Eastern for our live stream of Happy Hour. You can still catch us on Peacock at 5 Eastern. We're taking our first break, still ahead, breaking down some of the messiest backfields this season right after this.
AG called me and, told me that he's like, Brees, do you think I want to trade you? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, Brees, I don't want to trade you. So I want you to be here. You're gonna be here. You're at running back, and so that felt really good. And then just to sit down with him and have a lot of long conversations, and for him to fill me out, for me to get to know him and everything, it's been cool.
Jets running back Brees Hall on talking about just how much Aaron Glenn wanted him to be the team's guy. Despite that, guys, as we look at the Jets running back depth chart here, Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Kene Nwanwu is more of a kick returner, and they do have Donovan Edwards, the undrafted rookie out of Michigan, in camp. People ask me, obviously I do a lot of coverage with the Jets, how do you view the Jets in fantasy this year? I have not been drafting Brees Hall in best ball.
Wow.
I just have not. He's going to catch a lot of passes. He's still an explosive playmaker. They look at Braylon Allen and even Isaiah Davis a little bit as their David Montgomery because the staff came from the Lions.
Yep.
I don't think the volume is going to be what everybody dreams of when they take the RB14 in drafts.
I have him at 35 overall. I'm at RB14. Am I wrong? Am I too high?
I'd be like a little at like 40th overall. Okay. Yeah, you're right around it. Justin Fields is going to steal touchdowns. By the way, we already saw that. First drive of the preseason. They are involving Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis with the starters. It's not like they just get looks at the second and third team. They like Brees Hall. Brees Hall is an element of this Jets offense that they don't have a lot of, explosiveness. But the days of Brees Hall being this, workhorse, RB1, run away with carries, I just don't see it in this offense. And he hasn't been healthy enough to prove that the last couple of years.
Still can't believe they gave him 37 carries in that game against the Pats in Week 18 a couple of years ago.
Bill Belichick's last NFL game, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, to your point, right? Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen, Brees Hall all saw snaps with the starters on that first drive.
That's been camp.
Yeah.
Like at some point, they're just telling you exactly who they are and what they want to be. It's not that don't draft Brees Hall, but at cost right now, and maybe the market reacts to all of this and it adjusts properly. But he's being taken.
Too rich.
He's being taken like a workhorse.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not a workhorse anymore.
You zoom out, and he's a guy who has had a lot of injury troubles, who's in a timeshare with a rushing quarterback on a team that's projected by the market to win 6 games. Like, it's just tough, even if the talent is there. And also, it just makes sense to have him on a bit more of a pitch count so you can utilize his explosiveness and not expose him to injury as much.
If he does get a lot of targets, he's involved in the passing game. That's valuable. Again, we always talk about targets more valuable than rushing attempts. But still, it's not only his show.
Right. Yeah. We'll have to see Justin Fields being willing to throw to him consistently for him to back up this cost. The Cowboys, this backfield, all over the place. Not anybody ranked in your top 100, obviously, Matthew. Javonte Williams, the rookie Jaden Blue, and the veteran Miles Sanders. Deuce Vaughn's still there as well. I mean, this is just kind of a blender.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I have Williams ranked the highest of the three of them at the moment until we get more clarity, but they're all right there. I mean, I have Javonte Williams at running back 40, Jaden Blue at 46. Jaden Blue, but even though I'm at 46, he's the running back that I prefer to draft, just because I feel like at least there's some unknown and some upside. Javonte Williams, I sort of we know what he is at this point. This is going to be a pass-heavy offense. It's going to be a very pass-heavy offense. I'd much rather invest in the George Pickens and Jake Fergusons of the world than the running game. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb's a first-rounder, but it just doesn't feel like they're going to be super run effective.
No. And also, the defense is very thin, and Micah Parsons isn't on it at the moment. I think this team is going to be playing in a lot of shootouts. You see Dak telling Stan Kroenke that he'll see the Rams in the NFC Championship game. I don't think so.
I like that from Dak.
Yeah,
I mean,
like it too.
in the stands, maybe? Because they maybe get right. They all get tickets together.
Do they play Madden online together? Or
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's strange.
I hope we can roll that sound back.
Yeah, maybe.
But you're probably right.
Yeah.
Another messy backfield, guys. Jacksonville, as much as we love the passing game here, Matthew, Travis Etienne has kind of let fantasy owners down the last couple of years. He's still getting run, though, with the starters. We like Bashaw Tutin, but it doesn't look like Jacksonville's ready to just propel him into a top role.
Not in the near future. Etienne played 100% of the snaps with Trevor Lawrence under center. Tank Bigsby played the next 2 drives after Trevor Lawrence left, and then Bashaw Tutin took over for Bigsby in the second quarter. So it looks like, again, we're reading tea leaves and we only have so much to go off of, but
after the first game, it does feel like that pecking order is where we sort of are right now.
I thought the single most fantasy pertinent thing out of this weekend of preseason was that Travis Etienne played 100% of the snaps.
Right.
That's really material and also very surprising.
Very surprising.
That wasn't expected at all. And that's, I think, really key, particularly in fantasy, because Liam Cohen last year was the absolute screen master in terms of what he devised in Tampa Bay. So if Travis Etienne's going to get work in the passing game as well, all of a sudden, Travis Etienne, bounce back candidate for sure.
This is a guy that was a top 10 running back very recently. And so just, the entire offense sort of went off track. And so he's had some injury histories as well. But if you knew right now that he was the starter, like his draft stock should be way, way up because there's still some explosiveness there. And we like this offense. Like we overall, again, their defense isn't very good, and we think there's some nice pieces, and there's a good play caller there in Liam Cohen. Again, they were fourth in running. The Buccaneers under Liam Cohen, as you mentioned, fourth in running back target share, second in fantasy running back points. Like, if you're a running back in a Liam Cohen offense, fantasy goodness follows.
He's gone like 70 spots after Breece Hall as Travis Etienne. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'd much rather have Etienne.
Yep.
We know how badly the Steelers want to run the ball.
And we will rank Etienne higher in my next update.
With Arthur Smith as the play caller and Aaron Rodgers as the veteran quarterback, the question is, how will this backfield actually shake out? Caleb Johnson, the third-round rookie, he's being drafted the earliest, Matthew, by a good margin. Jalen Warren is there. He didn't play in the preseason game. He was getting rest. I talked to somebody that was at Steelers camp, and they talked about how much they are excited about Kenneth Gainwell. I just think, which I was like, that didn't really look at it that way because they have two other guys that they've invested in.
Four words you don't expect to hear.
No.
Excited about Kenneth Gainwell.
But look at this from the preseason right now. Jalen Warren didn't play.
Yep.
Kenneth Gainwell started over the third-round pick in Caleb Johnson. This is one where I think like the Jets, I think everybody's going to get work in this backfield.
Yeah,
I really do.
Arthur Smith wants to run. Like, we know this. He wants to run. Run. This
Everybody
is
gets a piece of the pie.
This is somebody that used to give rushing attempts to Jonnu Smith when he was in Atlanta.
He'll do it again this year.
He'll do it again. 1,000%.
I'm fascinated by the Steelers offense. Like, what the hell's it going to look like? What's going to happen?
A lot of Jonnu Smith.
Rodgers, who knows? I think they're going to want to protect Rodgers. Like, all jokes aside, like they do not want to put this offense on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders. They don't want to, for DK Metcalf and
any Brett Favre in Minnesota potential for Rodgers? Or do you think he's done?
That was a great season. I'm not ready to go there. No.
Okay.
I don't even think Mike Tomlin would ever want to play offense that way.
Yeah.
It's, but like Matthew said, Arthur Smith wants to run the ball a lot. And
Arthur Smith likes a lot
It's going to be a ton of Jonnu Smith in this offense. Like target-wise, I think. I really believe
so gross.
Arthur Smith loves him.
I know.
Loves him.
Loves him.
All right, how about the Texans in terms of messy backfields? This one, we know what Joe Mixon is. We just need Joe Mixon to be healthy going into the season. He's in your top 100, Matthew, 99th overall. And then it's a matter of, does Nick Chubb have anything left in the tank? Can Woody Marks, as a rookie, offer anything as a pass catcher that he was in college? And then how the mighty have fallen. Dameon Pierce, not ranked this year.
Listen, so neither Mixon nor Chubb played in this game. Dario Gunbowale played 100% of the snaps with Davis Mills. Stroud didn't play either in this game. So there's not much to take away from this other than maybe just avoid the Texans' backfield. Like, if you can get Mixon at a discount, sure. Like, I'm at running back 31. I don't mind a late flyer on Woody Marks, who I think is sort of interesting.
Right.
It's sad to say because we love Nick Chubb, but all the camp reports are like kind of.
The red flag there is that camp reports, like, coaches always skew extremely positive. And D'Amico was like, it's going to take him a while.
It's like, what?
Yeah. What happened to the best shape of his career? Great attitude.
We never know he got hurt.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Is Dameon Pierce just done? Dameon Pierce was like offensive rookie of the year favorite halfway through the season and like lit up the Eagles in prime time. And now he's
running back. Yeah, it can go quick.
Look, he was a guy that I think he was a 4th-round pick out of Florida Atlantic, right?
Florida.
Florida.
The real thing.
The real thing.
Yes.
But
the Gators.
But he's a day 3 pick, so there wasn't. People were surprised that he went where he went, and so he wasn't somebody that, as I remember it, had a great draft profile.
Yeah, power runner, good pass protector.
but
he's just very limited.
Yeah.
Limited scheme-wise, and he's another guy that's been banged up as well. NBC Sports Now is our free 24/7 streaming channel. You can get NFL news and all the biggest stories in sports, starting at 7 a.m. with PFT Live, the Dan Patrick Show, the Dan Levitard Show with Stu Gatz, Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry, and Chris Sims Unbuttoned. Just go to NBCSports.com/now. We're taking our last break. When we're back, last call. We're making our predictions for who has the most regular season wins on DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and all customers can bet the NFL on DraftKings now. Just download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
The crown is yours.
What? The crown is yours. Ha 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 ha.
Time for last call.
Hung you out to dry there.
Here are the odds for most regular season wins going into the 2025 NFL season. The Bills are the pretty heavy favorite at plus 350, followed by the Ravens. Jay, what do you like on this board?
Yeah, the Bills are the favorite just because they have quite an easy schedule.
Bad division.
Yes, bad division. They got a brutal week one home to the Ravens on Sunday Night Football, and then it gets a lot easier for them after that. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 20-1. They play in not a super threatening division in the NFC South, an easy enough schedule. This team last year was a top 5 offense that I think improved, and if you remove turnovers, which are fluky year to year, they were number 14 defense, and that was banged up. They were banged up a lot. Antoine Winfield wasn't himself. He's the best player on that defense. I think there are worlds where the Bucs go 13-4. They have close to the best offense in football and an above-average defense, and we're talking about this team as a real contender to go to the Super Bowl.
I'm going to take one of the favorites here in the Ravens. I just think they're loaded and ready to roll, and they finally have legit pass rushing help on the back end. We know how good Lamar is. Nothing really needs to be said about that offense. Did like seeing Keaton Mitchell healthy.
Let's go.
A little change of pace behind Derrick Henry. I think they're really excited about him. So plus 500 for the Ravens, but for good reason. I think they're going to absolutely roll this year.
I'm shocked that the Chiefs are plus 900. Like I feel like
pretty crazy.
It's just the schedule. The schedule is tough.
Yeah, but
it's tough. I know,
but
it's
they're the Chiefs. Yeah. Last year they were brutal, and they still managed to win every single game.
The Detroit Lions went 15-2 last year. Had one of the most injured defenses of all time in NFL history, and they're 18-1.
Yeah,
Lions
that's shocking to me
this year.
And of course, my Commanders at 22-1 makes no sense at all. Team of destiny, obviously. 17-0.
Reasonable sense.
Jaden Daniels, faith in 5. We added Deebo Samuel. We added Larry Tunsil. Terry McMillan, Terry McLaurin will get in there at some point.
Yes, eventually.
Marshawn Lattimore has found the fountain of youth. He's going to play like a 25-year-old. Come on, everything's burgundy and gold. Hail to the Commanders, hail victory.
Yeah. Tough schedule for them as well.
It is a tough schedule as well.
Yeah.
But
Do you worry about the defense?
a little bit. A little bit. But, look.
It's the best player on your D-line.
I think it's like, I will say, isn't it like 18 straight years that somebody different has won the NFC East, right? And
so you're saying Giants this year?
No.
How about this from Stuntman Chuck 85? Question for Jay and Connor. Where would Matthew Berry rank all time as a Bond villain, full PPR?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah, somewhere in between Mads Mikkelsen's Le Chiffre and Goldfinger. Yeah, in between that mix.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. I'm trying to think of all the different Bond villains.
You should dress like one tonight on the Tonight Show.
I
Start
should.
your
Remember
audition.
Scaramanga from Man with the Golden Gun, played by Christopher Lee? There's a lot of Bond villains.
Who's the big tall one? I forget the big tall one. But that's right. Can you imagine if I dressed as a Bond villain and I ran into Pierce Brosnan's dressing room?
Yeah.
Let's see what you do now.
I don't know how I'll react to that. We'll see.
Listen, it is closing time, which means you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Watch the Tonight Show tonight. I'm making my triumphant return. God bless Jimmy Fallon. He drinks free. For Jay and Connor, I'm Matthew. We will see you back here tomorrow at noon. Peace out.